Hello everyone, my name is Frilent, and this is the first real production video I've ever made, I think. Today is also a very special day for me, as today is exactly 10 years since my first ever Ableton project was made. Now, preservation is very important to me, and because of that, I've made an effort to save and back up every single project file I've made since that time, which was January 27th, 2012. Now, I thought it would be a really cool idea to open that very first project and fix it with the knowledge and the skills that I have today. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so here's the first project file. I made a copy of it just in case, because I don't want the file or the date to get overwritten. So I don't know what I was doing. I was in high school at this time. I really wanted to get into like dubstep and stuff. I was really into like Skrillex and like Deadmau5 and all that. So like, you know, like dubstep, house music, things like that. I started looking up tutorials, just random tutorials on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure that this project file was me just following some sort of tutorial. Let's look at the clip view here. I don't know why, but I have two drum kits going at the same time. I guess right here I was playing with different like I guess drum patterns. Just the way that these drums, like these clips, are named and everything, it's making me wonder if I found these, like these were already like preset like MIDI clips or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Or maybe I just had really good, like I just named them really well. I'm not sure. Let's just go to the arrangement view. So in the arrangement view, I have just these. I just have these keys here, and then I have both of the drums going at the same time. There's no EQ on either of them. I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same. Let's listen. All right, so this one's playing a lot lower. I'm not really sure what was going on here. So I think it just plays that throughout the whole thing. Also, at the beginning here, I have this keyboard that's playing. Yeah, so this, I guess, is just a preset sample. Or I guess this has to be some sort of preset that was in Ableton at the time. You can also tell how old this is just because these all have upgrade buttons. Like this has an upgrade button. Does the drum kit have? Oh, this has it right here for the samples. This operator has an upgrade button. Auto filter has an upgrade button. Yeah, so this is Ableton 8, I think it was, and now I'm on Ableton 10. So yeah, a lot of changes happened in that time. All right, so right here, as you can see, like I don't know what I was going for here. I'm pretty sure I was going for like a dubstep like wobble sound, and that's like what I was trying to go for with this auto filter here. As you can see, it has like the LFO amount is all the way up. The rate is set to quarter notes. So let's hear when it comes in, what's going on here. Yeah, so that's pretty much the whole project right there. Yeah, I was definitely going for like some sort of like a dubstep wobble or something like that. I'm pretty sure I was like trying to find like trying to make that like yoy sound or something like that. Or maybe I don't know what this was. So what we're going to do now is we're going to copy this project, and I'm going to try and see what I can do and try to fix this whole thing, remaster it, and then we'll come back and I will show you what I did. All right, so I'm back. I finished the entire remaster, and now let me go through some of it before I play it, just to show you kind of what I was thinking and what I was doing. At the end here, usually, you know, in the original project, it kind of just faded out. And so what I'm going to do here is I was going to have it fade out a little bit longer to kind of transition into the new things I was doing. I also looked and was trying to find the same key that I was in, and I figured out that in the original project that it was an F major. So I went through and I looked for, you know, different samples and loops and just anything that was in F major that I could add, you know, to the project. All right, so here's actually the guitar loop that I found that I really liked. So I'm gonna play it. So what I did was I took that and I went right click and I hit this button that says convert harmony to new MIDI track. And what that does is Ableton will take the audio that you gave it and it'll try to pick out the chords and the melodies of that sample and turn it into MIDI. And I do this all the time because one, it gives me a lot of flexibility to add and replace the riff with the new instruments, and two, it makes it so much easier just to kind of write around just a sample. You know, I'm not like picking out each chord one at a time. Ableton does that for me, and then I can clean up what things that Ableton kind of missed or any like little notes that it added that aren't supposed to be there. So this is what I did. I took that MIDI from that and I used it to be like the lead synth. So right here, here's what the lead synth would sound like. I have it fading in here. And now I have other things here too, like I have a lead synth that kind of introduces itself. I also have this vocal thing going on here. I added an auto pan to it, which makes it kind of like bounce from the left and the right speaker. Every quarter note, you'll kind of hear that. I cut out all the lows, and I also added a auto filter to kind of, you know, gradually sweep it in and out in different parts of the project. So I have it all built up to this drop here. I have a cello section and I have a French horn section that kind of plays under the lead chord. I also use the MIDI from that guitar with this. So here's how the cello sounds. Oh, I'd also like to note that I also added in the entire group of that, I added another auto pan, and that's also kind of doing that little LFO kind of thing. And what that does to me, for what I think is really good about this, is that now that I have these three instruments all playing at the same time, that auto filter, or that auto pan, I mean, kind of like takes all three of those sounds and makes it seem like it's just one synth to the listener. So we have the cellos here. We have the French horn. and we have the lead synth. So together, now we also have different risers and crashes and things like that. I also wanted to keep, you know, the original parts of the project. You know, I don't want to make just a completely new project, so I also have, you know, these keys going here. I also have the original drums going too. I took out most of the low end of this because this has a lot of cool little percussion sounds, I think, and like the toms can be like a little bit of a percussion, so it adds a little bit of a top end to the rest of my drums. Now onto the drums. I used a lot of just samples from different places. A lot of these are actually from the Count. Some of these are from Splice. Others are samples that I've just had over the years. My favorite drum, let me see, where is it? It's the Homebody kick from the Count. It's from one of his free packs. Here's how it sounds. It's like a really, really muted kind of kick. That's like, I feel like it's really strong and it has a lot of bass to it. But it's really easy to layer that particular kick with like a higher end kick. And then here's how the drums sound all together. And then after the drop, I kind of have some of the drums cut out. I added this little like chime, like wind chime thing going here to kind of transition and kind of take all the energy out. I added snaps to replace the snares to kind of give it a less energy, but kind of keep the groove going at the same time. I also have two snaps going here. This first snap is more like a tighter hit, and then this bottom one here is kind of more stretched out and it's like a looser one. And so when you layer them together, it kind of sounds like almost like two people are snapping at the same time, or multiple people are snapping at the same time, and it kind of gives it a much more like a looser and a fuller sound, I think. And then I have this little open hat here that I reversed, and it kind of gives it a nice little feel when you're going towards each snap. Moving on, I kind of wanted to change the vibe a little bit. I added kind of like a jazzier, kind of like a chiller part. So I found this other piano loop in an F major. And then I basically just started layering that. I also did the same trick, the convert harmony to new MIDI, and I added that to a glockenspiel. And then together, it sounds like this. Oh, I also forgot to mention this synth on the drop. It's the same synth, but what I'm doing is I'm changing up the way that it fluctuates, the LFO of it. So as you can see here, if we go to Auto Pan and we go to, is it this sync rate? Yeah. So as you can see here, if I highlight over here, it says 1/16. Earlier, if we go back over here, it says these are eighth notes. And so now in this part, it's playing 16th notes, so it's a little bit quicker. But I felt that that was a little too much. So what I did was I added this auto filter here, and I kind of made it fade in and out to kind of give it a more like a fluffier sound. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like it's a little bit softer, and I wanted this part to be not as hard hitting. So yeah, I think that covers most of what I did, what I added. I made sure to keep a lot of the original pieces, which wasn't really a lot. You know, it was only 4 layers, but it was actually 3 layers if you only count one of these drum loops. So I tried to keep as much as I could, but I really wanted to take the idea that I was envisioning in my head and kind of make that. And you know, the synths that I was using back in 2012 weren't you know, the most optimal and the best things that I wanted to use. You know, the things that I used down here, this is what I heard in my head. And you know, it's great that I'm able to do that now. So without further ado, I'm going to play the whole song from start to finish. I hope you enjoyed, and I think I'm going to start making more videos like this. I have a lot of things I would love to talk about and cover, and I think depending on how this video does, I think I'm going to start doing that. So yeah, without further ado, here is my first song.